Welcome to the Football Reporters Divisional Week Edition. It's excited here. Alright, let's just dive right into it. First game, Wild Card Weekend. The Houston Texans defeated the Oakland Raiders 27-14. Wasn't even close. Brock Osweiler got the start. Threw a touchdown. Rushed for a touchdown. You know, it was kind of a sloppy game, I thought. It was very defensive oriented, especially for the Houston Texans. Because Connor Cook, he looked like what he was, a rookie quarterback. And he threw 3 interceptions, one on the Jadeveon Clowney. So Texans win, they move on, Raiders go home. It's a shame that we will never know what would have been if Derek Carr stayed healthy. Of course, what is he doing in a game, you know, when they're up by so much, I have no idea. But that's a whole thing, different story. So Houston, moving on. Oakland going home. Next. The Seattle Seahawks defeated the Detroit Lions 26-6. The game was not close. I'll put it like this. There are some very questionable calls. I was going to say 2 of them. The first one was on the first touchdown to the first Seahawks touchdown to Paul Richardson. Richardson had a hold of the Lions guy's face mask. Was not called. So touchdown there. The other one was a pass interference call or a holding, or at least a defensive holding call that should have been called against one of the Seahawks. Should have been called. Wasn't. Game was over at that point. But the biggest story coming out of here is Thomas Rawls, 161 yards and a touchdown. You know, that's ultimately what killed the Lions. Not the bad officiating, was the fact that Thomas Rawls rushed for 160 against them. Thomas Rawls, who had 350 yards total the entire season, rushed for half of that in that one game. So Lions lose 26-6. Lions, you know, continue the playoff lows, lost 8 straight playoff games. The Seahawks moving on. They're still banged up. I still have really little faith in them. The Pittsburgh Steelers defeated the Dolphins 30-12. Let's put it like this. Ben Roethlisberger to Antonio Brown, 124 yards and 2 touchdowns. 50-yard touchdown to the screen. Slant route, 61 yards for a touchdown. Le'Veon Bell ran it like 10 straight times and got into the end zone twice. They was dominated. They dominated the game mostly. And if it wasn't for a Matt Moore fumble in the second half, they might have been close. I'm not saying that. I was actually kind of underwhelmed by Pittsburgh. You know, this great Pittsburgh offense. Ben had 2 picks, under 200 yards. Yeah, no, those and most of those 197 yards came about 2 plays early in the game. Le'Veon Bell had 167 yards, new playoff record for the Pittsburgh Steelers. J.J. was shut down only 33 yards. Matt Moore, I thought, played pretty decent for a backup quarterback, but yeah, if he doesn't fumble twice at the end of the first half and the beginning of the second half, he doesn't throw the interception, this might be a game. This might have been a game, which is why I'm kind of on Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh. The Giants are knocked out of the playoffs by the Green Bay Packers, so all New England fans can exhale. 38-13. Aaron Rodgers went off, had over 350 yards and 4 touchdowns. Odell Beckham Jr., you know, he was down in Florida, not really focused on the game. Had 2 big drops. One of them on the first third down of the game. Second one on a touchdown that he should have caught. Both of them. Same thing with Sterling Shepard. He dropped a touchdown pass. Drop passes just killed the team. Same thing in Detroit. I forgot to mention that. The drop passes killed the Giants. And in the second half, Aaron Rodgers just took over after that awesome Hail Mary pass, which somehow got to Randall Cobb. I don't get how, but it did. Packers remain hot. They're moving on. Giants, you got to start thinking about what the heck you're going to do with Eli Manning. Is Eli Manning really the guy? As for the Packers, they're moving on. They've eliminated what I thought was the best defense in football left. Now, they move on to divisional weekend. Let's go right into that divisional weekend. First game of the season. First game of the slate of games happening tomorrow at 4:35. Seattle at Atlanta. This is going to be a very interesting game, I think. Matt Ryan, 1-4 career playoff record. That one win came against Seattle. His number 2 win's going to come against Seattle. I'm picking Atlanta to win. And I think Chris disagrees with me. Chris is picking the Seahawks to win. Not really sure. All right. Yep. He's picking this. Oh, no, he's picking the Falcons, too. He's going to pick the Falcons as well. So both of us are picking the Falcons. I think Seattle's a good team, but they're all banged up. Michael Bennett's banged up. No Earl Thomas. And, it's in Atlanta. I think Atlanta's got a better offense. I think that it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see. And Matt Ryan does have the most to prove. He's the MVP of the league, and he's got to prove it here. He cannot be one and done. If he's one and done, he'll be labeled as a cosmic choker. Second game. This game's not going to be close. Houston and New England. New England's a 15-point favorite. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. New England is a 15-point favorite. They'll cover. I'm picking the Patriots. Houston's is not really that good. Tom Brady is, one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and Brock Osweiler. Okay, yeah, you can look good against Oakland, the worst defense in the league, but what are you going to do? So give me New England. Game's not going to be close. Next up is Green Bay and Dallas. This is going to be very interesting. Let's see here. Dallas has a lot more certainties than Green Bay does. They have a better offensive line. In fact, they have the best offensive line in football. Better running back. No Jordy Nelson for the Packers, so Des Bryant. They have Des Bryant. Defense is technically better. I like Dallas' defense more than I like Green Bay's. But Green Bay has one thing going for it. Aaron Rodgers is great. And he is. So, do I pick the team at home that, is a cosmic playoff choker? I called them a flasher Atlanta, which is what they are, what I think is eventually the whole thing was going to catch up to them. Or do I go with the quarterback? I'm going to go with the quarterback. I'm going to pick Green Bay to win, but I'm not confident. It's a coin flip. To be fully honest, I would not be shocked if Dallas won. I would take Green Bay to win in Dallas because they have a better quarterback, and Dallas' defense is still suspect. And they're gonna have some more players that they didn't have in the first game. They didn't have Orlando Scandrick. They didn't have Morris Claiborne in that game. But the Packers didn't have Clay Matthews this game. And even though I think Clay Matthews is massively overrated, but it's someone different. It's gonna be good to see. Interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see this game. Number 1 rush defense going up against the number 2 rush defense going up against probably the best rushing attack in the football. Now it's time for what I think is going to be the best game of the week. Pittsburgh and Kansas City, which has moved to 8:20 due to an ice storm imminent to hit the KC area. So I'm going to do a round table here. So better quarterback. I'm going to give Pittsburgh. Better running back. I'm going to give Pittsburgh again. In fact, better offense. Because they have Big Ben, Le'Veon Bell, and Antonio Brown. Defensively, Kansas City is stacked. Okay? They have a really good defense. And I think they have the better coach. So it's kind of a toss-up. But Ben's numbers on the road have been awful. Awful. As opposed to him being in Heinz Field. He's been very inconsistent. It's going to be cold. And I'm not saying that, Pittsburgh's going to have a problem with that because, they play in cold weather too, but I have more confidence in Kansas City at home than I do Pittsburgh on the road. I think Pittsburgh's defense is still suspect. I think that Big Ben is a roller coaster ride. I don't think their head coach is as good as people think he is. So that's why I'm picking the Chiefs to win. I think that either the better team, B, they have a better defense, C, they're at home, and D, Pittsburgh's unreliable. They underwhelmed me last week against Miami. They should have beaten that team by 40. And I know that's kind of a hard judgment. They should have. They should have beaten them by 40. And they didn't. Anyway. So that's my pick there. Chris picks Pittsburgh. I'm picking Kansas City at Arrowhead. Very interesting to see. Now, I said I was going to talk about that great national championship game, and I am. Okay, so those of you who don't know, who live under a rock, the Clemson Wildcats came back from the Arizona Crimson Tide, which is the closest thing to an NFL defense I think I've seen in a long time. With 2 touchdowns down with about 2 minutes left. It was an amazing game to watch. And solidified in my mind that Deshaun Watson is probably going to be a star if he goes to the right team. Not Cleveland. So it's good to see Clemson winning. And it's good to see Alabama lose. Now, I don't really watch a lot of college football. I'll be fully honest with you. If it were up to me, I would have more stakes in the championship games, the conference championship game. Like, if you win your conference, you're in the playoff. Because that's kind of how sports work. It's not a popularity contest, which is kind of what it is. Which, if they had more like that, I would care more, but I don't. But it's good to see Clemson win after losing last year in another great national championship game. Both of them have been great. And Deshaun Watson in these 2 games against Ohio State and Alabama have solidified that he's the best quarterback prospect in the country, and he probably is. If not number 1, he's probably going to either go to the Browns or the Jets, or the Bears for that matter. So that's my quick football, my college football stuff I want to talk about. Now I want to talk about. I want to close the show today with the coaching hirings to all the teams, and then also touch on the new team that's going to be in LA. The San Diego Chargers have announced that they are moving to Los Angeles. Fine. If it means more revenue for the league, good. Great, wonderful. I don't care. As for the coaching hirings, we are down to 1 coaching head job left. Let's just start here. We'll start with the first one that came out, which was the Jacksonville Jaguars had just taken off the interim tag off Doug Marrone, which I kind of thought they were going to do, which I'm fine with. I don't think Doug Marrone's a great head coach, but they have him. They have Tom Coughlin as the assistant, as an assistant, which I'm totally fine. Which I'm fine with. Both those guys in the same system would be great to see. And I think Jacksonville kind of really does need discipline. I think these are the right people to do that for them. As for the other ones, the youngest head coach, Sean McVay, 30 years old, is the head coach of the Rams. Why? Again, I asked this question of why is he that way? I don't know why. I really don't. They brought in Wade Phillips as the new defensive coordinator since the guy now in the guy from the Dolphins, Vance Joseph, the defensive coordinator for the Dolphins, is now the head coach in Denver, so he's bringing his own system. So Wade Phillips is out the door, which they put him in there. So I'm fine with Wade Phillips being the defensive coordinator for the Rams. I think it's actually a nice fit for them because they have a good front, and some decent secondary pieces. The offense is a mess, and who knows? If they can bring in a guy that can draft offensive linemen. He made Kirk Cousins look good. I'll say that much. He made Kirk Cousins look really good, but Kirk Cousins had better weapons. The Bills have hired Sean McDermott, the former defensive coordinator of the Carolina Panthers, who sucked this year. Another impulse move by Buffalo. Vance Joseph is going to the Los Angeles Chargers. He was the interim coach for the Buffalo Bills. I might sound disappointed because wait till the big name coordinators are available, then announce it. Josh McDaniels, Kyle Shanahan, at least those 2, and Sean McVay, Sean McDermott. How the hell? Whatever. I don't even care if I mixed up their names because they're that forgettable and they'll be out in 3 years. I guarantee it. Now, the one that I think that will stay is probably Vance Joseph in Denver. Best job, good defense, good defensive pieces. Offense still needs work. They're bringing in Mike McCoy, the former head coach of the. They're bringing in Mike McCoy to be the offensive coordinator who worked with Elway before. So I'm totally fine. Which again, fine with it all. They still need to work for the quarterback. That's the big thing that Denver needs. They work on their quarterbacks. So that's going to do it for me. I know it's a short episode here, only 15 minutes long, which I'm fine with, of the football reporters. So I will talk to you probably on Monday, Martin Luther King Day, talking about the conference title games. And after that, we will be returning to Massasoit to preview and talk about the Super Bowl, which is, that I don't know how long that'll take. That'll probably be a 10-minute video. But who cares? Less games, shorter videos, less time to talk about it. That's going to do it for me. Enjoy your Divisional Week football, everybody. I'll see you a little later on.